Alright, so now we're at a stage where you should slowly be starting to understand some of the steps of the area model. So let's just take the problem that for the third one here of 74 divided by 3. And let's just see how you do on this. So I actually want you to pause the video right now. Okay, now you've had a chance to do the problem on your own. So let's take a look and see how you did. So the first step that you should have done is make a rectangle. And then 74 is your area. So 74 goes on the inside. 3 is your divisor, so that's going to go on the outside of our rectangle. This is going to be one of the lengths or the widths. And I need to figure out what the quotient is, which I'm going to have to add the partial quotients up on top. So I have 74 Skittles, let's say, being split into 3 groups. Well, I don't know what 74 divided by 3 is, but I do know some other ones that are really quick off the top of my head, which is what I call quick trick. So I know this is double digit here, so I could pull out, for example, 10 groups of 3. And if I pull out 10 groups of 3, that will take care of 30 of the Skittles. But I want to try and get as close as possible to this because although I could do 10 groups of 3, that's going to create more work for me in the long run. So I want to try and do maybe 20 groups of 3. Well, 20 groups of 3 is equal to 60 because 20 times 3 equals 60. And I know that I can't do 30 groups of 3 because 30 groups of 3 is 90, and I don't even have that many Skittles. So the best I guess I can do is 20 groups of 3. And so that'll take care of 60 of the Skittles, like I said. I'll subtract, and I'm going to get 14. Now, that means I still have 14 Skittles left. So in other words, right here, I now have an area of 60, and I wasn't able to take care of all 74 Skittles. So I have a 20 by 3, which creates an area of 60, but I still have 14 Skittles left, so these 14 Skittles go into my next rectangle here. And I asked myself, how many groups of 3 can I pull out of the 14 Skittles? And again, although it's a double-digit number here, I cannot do 10 groups of 3 because that's higher than 14. So instead, I'm going to have to think of a basic fact. Well, I could pull out 1 group of 3, but that would be kind of silly because I could definitely do more. I could do 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, 4 groups of 3. 5 groups of 3 would be too high because that would be 15 Skittles. So the next best thing, I guess, is to do 4 groups of 3. So 4 groups of 3, I'm going to put the 4 up here, and I'm going to write, that's going to take care of 12 of the Skittles. But obviously I still have some Skittles left. I still have 2 Skittles left that I never was able to put into this area right here. That's because the 3 by 4 is 12 Skittles, and that doesn't take care of all 14. So these 2 Skittles, I mean, I could make a new rectangle here and extend this out a little bit further, but I can't make a group of 3 with only 2 Skittles. So that means that this, notice it is lower than my divisor, this is going to be my remainder. So I'm going to put 2 little boxes here. These represent the 2 Skittles that could not be made into a group of 3. And so basically 74 Skittles can't be split into 3 equal groups. I know that I could get 24 Skittles to be in every group, but I would actually have 2 Skittles left over that I could not equally put into the 3 groups because I need a total of 3 to do it. So my answer would be 24 remainder 2. I actually want to show you something too because you may have done this problem and done it maybe even differently than me. So remember how, and you don't have to copy this down, but remember how I had the 74 here and the 3 here? One of the reasons why area model is so great is because you know, you might only be able to think of like 3 times 10. Well, 3 times 10, or 3 groups of 10, will take care of 30 Skittles. So your work might look very different than what's above, but we're still going to get the same answer because I just took care of 30 Skittles. So that means that the area of a 3 by 10 is 30, so right here the area is 30, I still have 44 Skittles left to take care of. So I'm going to move those 44 Skittles to this part of my area model. And I ask myself, how many groups of 3 can I pull out of 44? Again, you might be able to say 10. Again, that's not going to take care of all the Skittles, but it will take care of 30 of them. So I have now an area right here of 30. But again, I still have 14 left of my area. So that means I'm going to have to make the 14 go into my next part of my rectangle. And so I'm going to ask myself, how many groups of 3 can I pull off 14? Again, I can only think of 4 groups of 3. That takes care of 12. And I'm only left with 2 Skittles. Notice very similarly to above, those 2 Skittles are remainders because I can't make a group of 3 out of them. And even just like above, I still have my partial quotients adding together to get 24, and I still have a remainder of 2. Notice 24 remainder 2. So you can still do it differently than me and still arrive at the same answer.